Have you ever noticed that the loudest person in the room is rarely the most successful?
What if I told you that the secret to massive success isn't about shouting your goals from the rooftops? It's about what you do when no one is watching. The real work, the game-changing work, is done in silence. Think about it. An iceberg shows only a tiny fraction of its mass above the water. The rest, the immense, powerful foundation, is hidden deep beneath the surface. Your success is that iceberg. The world sees the tip, the awards, the recognition, the seemingly overnight triumphs, but they don't see the years of silent, relentless effort submerged below. They don't see the early mornings, the late nights, the countless hours of practice, study, and refinement. That's where the real magic happens. Today, we're diving deep into why the most powerful moves are made in silence, and how you can harness this principle to build your own monumental success. This isn't about being secretive or shy. It's about strategic focus and protecting your energy. In a world obsessed with broadcasting every step, we're going to learn the art of moving silently and letting our results make all the noise. Stay with me, because this one concept could completely change the way you approach your ambitions. First, let's talk about focus. Every time you talk about your big plans, you release a little bit of that precious energy and motivation. Psychologists call this social reality. When you tell people what you're going to do, your brain gets a premature sense of satisfaction, almost as if you've already done it. This can seriously reduce your drive to put in the actual work. It feels good to get that validation, the wow, that's amazing, from your friends, but that feeling is fleeting. It's a cheap substitute for the profound, lasting satisfaction of actual achievement. When you work in silence, you keep all that psychological energy for yourself. You're not performing for an audience, you're building for yourself. Your focus remains razor-sharp, locked onto the task at hand, not on managing others' perceptions or expectations. This undistracted state is where deep work happens, where you can enter a flow state and produce your most brilliant work. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers and clarity. Next, working in silence protects you from external negativity and doubt. Let's be honest, not everyone will understand your vision. The moment you share a bold, ambitious goal, you open yourself up to a flood of opinions. Some people, often with good intentions, will project their own fears and limitations onto you. They'll say, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or "That seems really difficult. Maybe you should start smaller." This external noise can plant seeds of doubt in your mind, causing you to second-guess your own abilities and passion. Why give anyone that power when you're in the fragile, early stages of building something new? Your idea is like a tiny flame. It needs to be shielded from the winds of criticism and skepticism. By keeping your plans to yourself, you create a sanctuary for your ambition to grow strong and resilient. You become your own source of validation. You don't need a committee to approve your dreams. You just need to believe in them and do the work. Let them call you quiet. Let them wonder what you're up to. The day will come when your success speaks so loudly, it will drown out all the whispers of doubt. This leads me to a crucial point. Silence allows you the freedom to pivot, and even to fail without public scrutiny. The path to success is never a straight line. It's a messy, winding road filled with experiments, mistakes, and dead ends. If you've announced your grand plan to the world, every little stumble becomes a public spectacle. The pressure to appear perfect and to never falter can be paralyzing. It can make you afraid to take risks, afraid to try something that might not work. But when you operate in silence, you give yourself the grace to be human. You can try, fail, learn, and adjust without an audience. Failure becomes a private lesson, not a public humiliation. This freedom is incredibly liberating. It allows you to be agile and responsive. You can change your strategy, scrap an idea that isn't working, and start over, all without having to explain yourself to anyone. The world's greatest innovators and entrepreneurs failed countless times before they succeeded. They understood that failure is just data. They collected that data in private, refined their approach, and then presented the world with a masterpiece. They built their empires not on a foundation of flawless execution, but on a mountain of private failures. Moreover, moving in silence builds mystique and anticipation. When you're constantly posting updates and sharing every detail of your journey, you leave nothing to the imagination. People see the entire messy process, and by the time you actually launch or achieve your goal, the impact is diluted. But when you work quietly, behind the scenes, a natural curiosity builds around you. People see you're dedicated, they see you're focused, but they don't know exactly what you're creating. This creates an aura of competence and mystery. Then, when you finally reveal your work, the impact is 100 times more powerful. It's the difference between watching a movie where you've already seen all the spoilers versus watching it completely fresh. The big reveal, the wow moment, is a powerful tool. Let your work be the big reveal. Let people be surprised by your growth. Let them say, "Where did that come from?" The answer is, it came from the silent hours. It came from the discipline you practiced when no one was clapping. That's how you make a true statement. So, how do you actually apply this? It starts with a mindset shift. Stop seeking validation for your intentions. Start seeking fulfillment from your actions. Choose a very small, trusted inner circle, maybe 1 or 2 people who are genuinely supportive and understand your vision. These are your confidence, not your audience. With everyone else, practice the art of being vague but positive. When someone asks what you're up to, you can simply say, "I'm working on a few exciting projects," and leave it at that. You don't owe anyone a detailed report. Rechannel the time and energy you would spend talking about your goals into actually working on them. Instead of crafting the perfect social media post about your new hustle, spend that are actually hustling. Log off and log in. Find your quiet space, whether it's a room in your house, a library, or just a pair of noise-canceling headphones, and get to work. Fall in love with the process, not the applause. The process is where you are forged. The applause is just a byproduct. Remember the story of the 2 woodcutters. Both were tasked with chopping down a forest. One started swinging his axe immediately, working furiously all day, barely taking a break. The other disappeared for the first few hours. The first woodcutter smirked, thinking his competitor was lazy. But when the second woodcutter finally started, his axe was incredibly sharp. He worked at a steady, powerful pace, and by the end of the day, he had felled far more trees. When the first woodcutter asked him what he was doing for those first few hours, he replied simply, "I was sharpening my axe." That's what working in silence is. It's sharpening your axe. It's studying, planning, practicing, and preparing. It's the unglamorous, unseen work that leads to spectacular results. The world only celebrates the falling trees. It doesn't celebrate the sharpening of the axe. But you know that one is impossible without the other. So I challenge you today, pick one goal, just one important ambition you have. And for the next 30 days, commit to working on it in complete silence. Don't post about it. Don't tell your friends about your new routine, just do the work. Pour your heart and soul into it when no one is watching. See how it feels to be accountable only to yourself. Experience the power of undistracted focus. Feel the motivation build from within, rather than from external praise. At the end of those 30 days, look at the progress you've made. I guarantee it will be more substantial than you ever imagined. You'll have built a solid foundation, a piece of that massive iceberg beneath the surface. And from there, you can keep building, layer by silent layer, until your success is so undeniable, so monumental, that it breaks the surface for all the world to see. Let your success be the noise. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building a life of purpose and achievement. Let me know in the comments what you're going to work on in silence. Let's all be the quiet ones in the room, the ones who are actually getting things done. Until next time, keep building.